Very good evening and good morning. Good evening to all the American poet and poetry lovers, and good evening to all the Indians poet and poetry lover. This is Dr. Shamanez from the digital platform of Progressive Literary and Cultural Society. Today is a special day for all the American poets because we American lover of American poetry, because we are organizing American poetry reading, and it is a program of PLCS American Forum headed by Annette Tarpley with beautiful members like Jill Kimmelman, Janetta John, and Lisa Joy Tome. So we are start before beginning this event. I am introducing the leader of the American Forum, the coordinator of American Forum, Annette Tarpley. She is the convener of today's event. So Annette Wengert Tarpley hails from Roanoke, Virginia, in the United States, and has won numerous awards and accolades with her poetry. Annette has published many poems online. Her only playlist of recitation and perform recitation for other poet on YouTube is produced by Sparrow Poem and is published through numerous anthologies. Annette has published her first book, Poetry Potpourri, and co-authored Uplifting Poem of Positivity, which is available on Amazon, and co-authored a book, Two Hearts, a poetry collection with a poet from UK, Sarfraz Ahmed, and has been publishing poem in several anthologies around the globe. She is the founder, administrator of popular Facebook poetry group, The Passion of Poetry, which has reached 22,000 members internationally. So she is also coordinator of PLCS American Forum of Progressive Literary and Cultural Society. So viewers, before beginning this event, I just want to introduce some work objective of our Progressive Literary and Cultural Society. Progressive Literary and Cultural Society, which stands for Entire Universe is Our Family. We believe it is founded by Dr. Shamanez on 23rd August 2020. And we believe that entire universe, in respective of race, gender, class, and ethnicity, we are one and we are like a family. The preamble of PLCS is, it is a non-political and non-religious organization. It has been working for the promotion of, Annette, can you give me a minute? The live has ended, stopped. So just give me a minute. I can start again. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. There are recordings still going.
Okay. So it is a non-political and non-religious organization. It has been working. It is for the promotion of literature and culture on virtual and real platform. PLCS, which is Progressive Literary and Cultural Society, because by the word progressive, we means moving forward with innovative ideas, but keeping intact with old values. We don't believe in any particular ideology, but are committed to cooperate with all the world community to enhance global development, peace, and harmony. Annette, I request you to read the further slide. Till then, I can... The motto of Progressive Literary and Cultural Society is entire universe is taken, is our family. It is taken from the Indian philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and the Arabic philosophy of Sulh-e-Kul. The aim of PLCS is to promote global literature and culture. The mission is to enhance peace, love, multiculturalism, mutual understanding, and brotherhood among different nationality. The vision is to make this world a multicultural hub without any prejudices. We don't endorse any political or religious theme on our platform. Any person being found spreading hatred against any community, race, gender, ethnicity, and nationality will be terminated from the society, because we believe in love, respect for all mankind. PLCS is non-religious, non-political organization which just believe in mutual love and peace, and it discourages any kind of discrimination and work for maintenance of peace and brotherhood in the society. The objective and works of society. We provide a platform to promote global literature and culture, and hence work to enhance world peace, humanity, by organizing various literary and cultural programs, which we have been doing since the formation of our society. We are trying to promote indigenous art and culture of India on international front. And in the same way, we are highlighting the indigenous culture of other countries as well. We have organized various multilingual and multicultural poetry and literature festival. We are promoting our native language, including regional language, by organizing various programs. For example, we have organized Hindi poetry reading and Marathi poetry reading. In future, we will try to organize exhibition from promoting various handicraft existing in India. Objective and work of society. In future, we will try to conduct outreach program, humanitarian work. We also have did many humanitarian work, like on COVID issue. We have helped sick people in medical aid. We have organized some competitive workshop for students. We have organized virtual tour event for promoting tourism, like Visit Kashka Darya. We have organized workshop, seminar, and discussion on various issues of human existence to create awareness about various things. We have also celebrated Indian as well as world festival. We have organized Filipino poetry reading, Spanish poetry reading, Greek poetry reading, American, European, Filipino poetry reading, and as well as Latin American poetry reading. We have organized event related to sports on Olympic and Paralympic. We have released book of Indian, Turkish, Italian, Greek, British, and American authors. Our family comprises of 66 registered Indian member and 17 international member. We have 3 guest member of different countries, but our family is not confined to this number, as the participating member in our event are much more than this. So thank you. This was a presentation. Just 2 minutes I need. So now, Annette, I will be calling you. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Did you want me to start, or you need to present something else? Yeah.
Annette, till then you can discuss a little bit about American poetry. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone to this event. It's hosted by both myself and Jill Sharon Kimmelman. Jill, go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself so you can speak as well. And we welcome you all, and very much looking forward to your stellar pieces. So I'm very happy to see that our honorary guest, Janette Conger, is here. I'm glad that you made it, and so happy to see you. And she is a Native American.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She is new to this kind of forum, so as we all were once, and so we'll funnel through it together. This is a no judgment zone, so if no one's ever recited before, don't worry about it. We're here to support each other. So what will happen during this is everyone will need to keep muted while others speak. When you're called upon, you'll unmute. We'll do rounds in the order that you signed on. And so we'll be calling upon you. In just a few minutes, Janette, I will be calling on you. You will be going first, and then Jill and I will alternate in introducing and reading the bios for all of you beautiful poets. So, Dr. Shamanez, how are you doing?
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
Our guest has arrived, I think. Welcome, Janette.
Thank you. Are you ready?
Welcome. Good to see you on our platform.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Are you ready for me to read my first poem?
Well, I want to introduce you first and read your bio first, but okay. Is that okay if I go ahead and start that, Dr. Shamanez?
Yes, Annette, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for your cooperation.
Our honorary guest is Janette Conger. Janette is has a book. It's called Her Spirit Within. Janette is a Native American of Sioux and Cherokee origin. She was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. She took to writing at the age of 14 as a way of expressing herself while growing up in a dysfunctional environment. Her journey has been one of many shared feelings, thoughts, and ideas within 2 previously published books. One is called Inside Me and the other Walk With Me, where her journey begins and continues. It is with honor that this Native American woman invites you to listen to her poetic words. And she hopes to give us this gift of her words. So, Janette, if you would please go ahead and share with us your work. What you'll do is you'll read one poem this time and we'll go around and you'll read another one later. Okay?
Okay. All right. Are you ready? The first poem I'm going to read is called Hope in the World. Hope in the world. I see a hope in the world that one day all humans will see each other with the eyes of a human being. No judgment, only love. It is a hope that some may think is made only of dreams, a silly idea that can never happen. We call ourselves people. We are human beings, and we all live together on this planet Earth. I see a hope in the world that one day all human beings will come together with peace and love for one another, sharing in the work that needs done to save this earth we all live upon for the generations yet to come. I see a hope in the world that one day all the love within human beings will come forth, reaching out to each other. And with acceptance of this gift of love, the humans of Earth can be united. No wars, only peace. I see a hope in the world that one day the human beings of Earth will stand beside each other and with love for all life, share in the healing to bring about peace so that life can continue to flourish without anger or greed. I see a hope in the world that one day human beings will find true love for life, unconditional and giving, loving and sharing. To know peace is real and can be achieved within oneself and shared to others. I see a hope in the world that one day all humans will live together with only peace and love. Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, hope in the world, and through your world and through your words, you give us hope. So thank you so much for that. That was beautiful.
That was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I would like to just quickly just introduce Jill before she takes the next step and introduces the next poet. So my dear friend Jill Sharon Kimmelman is a 2-time Pushcart Prize nominee, and she has recently written her first book, You Are the Poem.
See the comments.
And she has come out with another edition of it that is electronic, and where
Great
she
poem, lovely writing.
where she I'm sorry, I had to mute. So where she actually has come up with hyperlinks and different things and kind of poetic electronic versions of things. So she's kind of extended her, but she is a member of many different sites, and she also has won numerous awards and been published in many journals, many magazines. She is very renowned, and her style is a breath of fresh air to me. So she has a culinary background. I have partaken of her food. It's very good. I'm going to come there soon. It might be next week, Jill. You just never know. It's delicious and marvelous. And she's a wonderful hostess as well. She serves me on great, dishes and so forth. So Jill also is married to her beloved Tim Little, who adores her and adores her poetry, as I do your poetry. So, my dear Jill, Sharon Kimmelman, my friend, it is now your turn. You take over.
I'm not quite sure how to respond to that, so I will be concise and say, Annette, you mean so much to me, and your beautiful forward in my book made that so clear. And for those of you who don't have the book, Annette's imprint, beginning with a remarkably beautiful cover design from a photograph that I took, was one of many gifts from Annette. So it's my great pleasure this morning to be co-hosting this event and to be introducing those of you who are not familiar with a dear friend of mine, an exceptional poet, but she's also an amazing prose writer. So we have, Tim and I, been enjoying in manuscript form her book that she's writing, a novel, and each chapter we finish, we give to Tammy, and she works on it. So what an extraordinary honor it has been to be a part of Tammy's book project. She's also, as I mentioned, a very, very talented poet, and she has a Facebook group called Dreamers Cafe. Tammy, in her own words, is a 58-year-old crone, mother of 2, grandmother of 1, and great-grandmother of 1. Forever chasing the written word, she strives to capture life and reality. The force behind Dreamers Cafe on Facebook, she and her team work to enrich lives through poetry. She is also the creator of Dreamers Cafe, and I encourage you all to check out her amazing website. And the poem she will be reading today, Sweet Slumber, Take Me, and Feminine Facting. If we have room for all 3, but we'll start with 2. Tammy, it's your floor. You just need to unmic yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Uh-huh, you're fine.
Okay.
Go right ahead and choose one of your 3 poems.
The first one I'm going to read is Sweet Slumber. I wrote this in 2010. I woke to the twining of fingers, snaking beneath warm blankets, following the arching of my leg, risen slightly, gliding curves, dividing valleys in search of rivers. Warm breezes burrow, kissing through locks of autumn, whispering, I love you. As we lay, bodies pressed and curled, twined and penetrating, drifting off together, I think how much I love when you come home late. And that's the end.
Thank you, Tammy, very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jill, and thank you, Tammy. That was beautiful. So next up on our list of poets is Dustin Pickering. If you could unmute yourself, dear sir, and I will introduce you. So Dustin is quite the literary innovator. He's very, very active in the literary community. He's a founder of Transcendent Zero Press. He is contributed to writing to Huffington Post, Cafe de Census Every Day, the Statesman India, the Journal of Liberty and International Affairs, Colorado Review, World Literature Today, and several other publications. He is placed in the top 100 out of 12,500 entries for the Urbaki Prize in 2021 and was a finalist in the Adelaide Literary Journal First Short Fiction Contest. He hosts the popular interview, The World Inkers Network, on YouTube. And wow, that's pretty impressive, Dustin. Take it away and please recite your work for us.
Sure. I have my first poem is titled The Rape of Medusa. It's, of course, based on Medusa, the myth, based on the myth of her becoming the Gorgon-headed person we know. Okay, so and I use a lot of natural phenomena to kind of describe some of this process. Rape of Medusa. The sea curls back to a hiss, depositing venomous creatures, and at the temple he departs her, bearing stones beneath her eyes. The sea falls back, a historical regression. Paranoid woman, protective of her domain, hides under the realm of decay, waiting for her own beheading by sword. Fall back. I am stone, O woman of the fallen angry hours. Your head, monster's relic to men, but in your gentle dream, only a translator of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin, very much. And dear Jill, you will be next, but I'm going to be sending you a new list. I think what I sent you was confusing. So you will be calling upon Robert Bradley next and introduce him. Thank you.
Good morning again. Robert, can you unmute your mic once I finish? I'd first of all like to welcome you, and I'm really excited to finally put a face to a name because I am a huge fan and I do follow you, but we've never actually connected. So I'm delighted that you accepted our invitation for this morning. Robert Bradley is a licensed clinical social worker, as well as, and you'll have a single therapist assigned to military service members and their family. He calls himself a 55-year-old poetry dude from Virginia. He has a son and is a single, he has a son and 2 dogs, Tucker and Stella. His family, helping people, all things nature and all things considered, art, writing books, and his book, Cut from the Same Cloth, was published a year ago in April of 2021. He will be sharing with us today Saltwater Taffy Dreams, Nature Makes Its Own Music, and, if possible, Roundabout Mars and Venus. And with his therapy background, I'm particularly intrigued to hear this third poem. Robert, take it away.
It's a real pleasure to be here. The first one I thought I would read is called Saltwater Taffy Dreams. Frothy waves greet my morning brisk. Under the gray of a vanquished mind, the waves roar to their fever-pitch crescendo at reaching my shore. Oyster shells show their pearly shine, having surrendered their pearls from yore. The markings are visible, and I have them of prominence in my safety corridor. From a distance, a lone dolphin is at play in brief escapade of innocence. I can feel the smile of saline splendor on the sight affixed to my wonderment gaze. Tasting saltwater mist splashing against a resolute runway atop the troubles in my sanctuary. I steer clear of shallow things and places intent on wrecking my morning stretch and yawn. In my mind, I reset, and in an instant the threats are gone. The mind harbor mist and a body ordained in gold hallow. Rings adorn a king's clutch on a morning escaping from a wielding rule. I express a smoky trail. Colitis and salty spirits leave the smell. Coffee swill tastes bitter, awakening a somber solitude in my morning. Cattails and thistle disappear in my wake. Buoys and the sound of a foghorn in my sleepy port. This is my castle, and this is my sea. And here in this saltwater taffy dream, I reign supreme. As the storm clouds roll in my mind, I batten down my hatches. I cast out my fishnet, and I wonder what it catches. My taffy tastes salty on a sharp tongue, intent on carving out my piece. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay, that was marvelous, Robert. Thank you very much. And enjoyed that a lot. Next we have up, actually Jill. I think I'll have you introduce her. We're going to go out of order a little bit because I know she's your friend and you specially invited. So that's Donna McCormack. Nice to have you, Donna. Not that I don't want to introduce you or anything, but I think it'll mean more coming from Jill. So Jill, if you would take over Donna, I will take over when you get done. Thank you.
Just looking for Donna's bio. Okay. Tell you what, I'll do it from my phone. Okay.
You don't, Jill, if you.
I'm sorry for the delay. I didn't have it in front of me on the list.
It's okay.
Definitely. I'm very proud to introduce a new sister friend by the name of Donna McCormack. She is in my Friday morning poetry critique group, and in my humble opinion, she is a magical and memorable poet, and she is currently working on 2 books, and we hope to see them in 2022. She lives
You're mute. You can't hear you for some reason, Jill. Right.
Okay. I think since I don't have exactly what I need. I'm going to introduce Donna and let her say a few words because I just don't have it.
That's okay.
But I would very much encourage you to, Donna is not on Facebook, but maybe we can encourage her to at least join so we can be in contact with her on Facebook Messenger. She's doing great on Instagram, and her poems are innovative, intriguing, and imaginative. So take it away, Donna.
Thank you. I am working on 2 books. They're both called Love Bites, and they actually go together. They're both collections of love poems, and the one is Falling in Love and the other is Falling Out of Love. So I'm actually going to read one of the poems I'm going to read today is called Lilacs, and that's one of the poems from the collection where you're falling in love. And then the other piece I'm going to read is called Orange, and that's not from the collections I'm working on today. And I'm from Ohio, and I'm a disabled person. I have bipolar disorder and really extreme anxiety. And I spend my time wrangling those disabilities and my crazy writing career. And I really love animals. And so that's kind of me. I'm Donna. It's nice to meet everybody. So I will read Lilacs for you first. And Jill, thank you so much for introducing me. I know I was a last minute person, so we didn't really have the bio all worked out, and that's okay. So this is Lilacs. I miss lilacs. Can almost smell blossoms on the crack cold wind. Legs lift just high enough to work steps forward. Thick flakes imitate snowballs, tumble eternally, loosely, collect, build, accumulate. Shovel scrapes at them. I remember your determined blade. We're digging a path to spring, Evelyn. Let's go. Gasping breath detects frozen metal. Lungs ring like tears coming. I miss lilacs. I start to dig your path. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was lovely. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. So next up, Jill, I'll be introducing the next 2 since you went a couple of times and then I gave you the updated list. So next up is the lovely Regina McIntosh. If you would like to unmute yourself, my dear, and I will introduce you and read your bio, and then we'll listen to your recitation. So, Regina is a poet from Western North Carolina mountains in the U.S., where she resides on a small farm with her husband. She thrives on the farmland where she milks the cows and feeds the pigs and chickens and turkeys and makes her own butter and cheese from the fresh milk. She's always had a love for words and writing as long as she can remember. She believes she has the God-given gift and that he has given her that talent and desire. Her deep faith in God and strong undercurrent for many of her poetic works. She believes God has called upon her to write her prose and poetry and gave her the passion and desire to do so. She enjoys writing inspirational pieces, but she also delights in the challenge of writing in many poetic formats. Free verse is her preferred style, and she finds inspiration in her faith, her love for family and friends. Her words are infused with those she holds dear. I coined this myself. I did this little right. The 3 F's: family, friends, and faith. So, and if you would take over, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to read one of my faith-based poems. It's called The Joy of the Lord. And it starts with a verse from the Bible. Then he said unto them, Go your way, eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send portions unto them for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy unto our Lord. Neither be ye sorry, for the joy of the Lord is your strength. That's Nehemiah 8:10 in the King James Version. And the poem goes, A soothing silence surrounds me, serenity calling through sensations of elations that fill me with delight, insights into the whispers of night, where shadows cause me to gasp, away the fears who judge me unworthy. Elation caresses my spirit with hope, whispering soft caresses into my heart, which discovers the greatest joy within, the pleasure sought beyond material things. Wherever God's hand has touched down, healing, helping, hoping for harmonizing. Seeking songs which color the breezes, warm hues of melancholy and passionate promises, which drift on the tides of azure, waters which caress the beach's edges, and call out to the passing natives sweet tunes, the fireflies creating a flickering paradise in nature. Fresh scents of mystery reveal spirits' dreams of creative gestures that welcome desire's fires. Within a morning mist or alive in the night shadows, which breathe music through the gentle air and bring enchantment to the surface of pools, drifting with lush liquid sighs of pure joy. Like a warm embrace, she caresses my soul, knowing there are hopes that keep faith alive, warming the skin with sunshine's insightfulness, creating poetry and prose along the breaking of dawn and within the harmony of rainfall, comforting the earth with its beautiful silence. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Okay, that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Regina. Very inspiring and spirit-filled. So next we have up the lovely, one of my favorite people to hear recite. Let's see if I perked up her, I don't know. Demetria, you are up next, darling. And if you want to unmute yourself, and I will introduce you. She is a marvelous orator. I'm sure you all will love it. Demetria Clayton was raised in Chicago, Illinois by her grandparents. From an early age, she exhibited strong interest in poetry, arts, and music. Going to private schools and excelling in her academics, she began playing saxophone in a high school band. Demetria spends countless hours devoting herself to nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations, and even started her own company called the Cuties.
Cuties.
Go ahead.
Cuties.
Okay. If it's anything but Smith & Jones, I can't pronounce it. Company to bring awareness to bullying and abuse victims, which she knows is near and dear to my heart. I just did an event yesterday on bullying. So she hosted several poetry open mics, and she started her own podcast. We are all, go ahead.
Cuties.
There you go. Here podcast that streams on all podcast platforms. The most recent accomplishment of hers is she's receiving a second master's degree from Full Sail University with a specialization in entertainment business. She has used this degree to enter into the entertainment industry through her own production company.
Cuties, Entertainment and Production.
Thank you, darling. And where did you come up with that name? Tell me about
I actually got the name from my youngest daughter because she told me one day, little is so cute. And I thought about how small people feel who are getting bullied and abused. And that's why I said, well, we're all cute, you know? And so I named my company Cuties.
So it's Cuties. It's just a different spelling.
It's just spelled with a K instead of a C.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. And I very much admire all the work that you do. So
Thank you.
Go ahead and recite your poetry and entertain us, Demetria.
All right. Okay, you guys. The first poem that I'm going to do today is called The Tree. Of course, you see I have wonderful palm trees behind me. I live in Florida and I love nature. So I wrote this one to the tree. And it goes like this. Each year is a different level. Each day, I face a different devil. The love of the planter, the rest of the handler. The elements, the seasons the elements of the season will stand the test of whose bark is truly the best. There has never been another that stood quite like me, but we all strive to hold our leaves, you see. Though you may see me old and worn down, I can still hold other values that are around. The secrets I'm told can last for decades, but the rest of a man is told through handmaids. They wrote my story from how I started in Eden. They've even used me for evils, and I've seen people beaten. Upon my bough, the owl screams, "Who?" But the nest built upon me shows the truth. As the skies refresh me from the tops of my vines, it builds my thrusts and establishes pines. Oh, the endless uses of my core, from fires to tables and paper galore. Rest assured, my existence, it will last until my mother recreates me to the masses. And that's that piece.
Thank you very much for sharing. That was wonderful. Loved
Thank
it.
you.
Loved it. All right, Jill, you're on.
I have the great pleasure of introducing everyone to Zan Johns. Zan is a best-selling author of 2 books, Poetic Forecast and After the Rainbow, Golden Poems. She believes that every word is an opportunity to love. Zan co-authored 2 of the Women Speakers Association's Voices of the 21st Century, where her poems are featured and in the dedication page. She proudly serves, along with Annette's team, as a moderator in the Passion of Poetry. She is also an editor for the Fine Lines Literary Journal. Congratulations! I did not know that. Zan's poems appear in numerous international anthologies and poetry publications. Today, for our listening pleasure, Zan has brought 3 poems. One is called Everyone Get Ready. One is called My Tree, and one is called Casa Magdalena. She will choose whichever one she wishes, but you will all love it. And whenever we converse and talk about things coming up, one of the favorite things she says is, get ready, fasten your seatbelts. So she is a huge cheerleader for so many of us, and we are all tremendously grateful that in Zan's jam-packed life, she fit us in this morning. Thank you, Zan, so much. Take the floor. It's you.
Thank you, Jill, for that wonderful introduction. I'm happy to be here. I bring you greetings from Westminster, Colorado. The first poem that I'll share is Everyone Get Ready. And I wrote this last year to honor Curtis Mayfield, who was a blues and rhythm and blues singer and musician in the United States. And he wrote a lot about social justice issues. His song, People Get Ready, is in the Music's Hall of Fame. And my poem is to honor that poem, entitled People Get Ready. Everyone get ready. There's a movement forming. The masses have spoken. Their message is clear. You have not listened. You've dismissed their stories. It's time we all wake up to what matters now. Everyone get ready. The truth is upon us. There's no denying all the pain you've caused. Our healing begins with minds wide open. Take nothing for granted. We must act today. All people are equal. Do not fear, my sisters. Seek understanding. Build connections now. Make room for all, no matter their color. We're in this together. We must save this world. So, everyone get ready, because the world is watching. Keepers of brothers from across the globe. Love is the key. Let your hearts receive it. Regard for all people will heal all mankind. That was Everyone Get Ready. If I had a singing voice, I would have sang it for you.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
you always write from the heart. I love your poetry. You know that. Thank you, Zan, my friend. And next we have the lovely Eureka Robey, who is near and dear to my heart. And Mary Lou Eureka Benazon Robey is a poetess, artist, and wife and mother who lives in Kentucky. She was born in the Philippines. She graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. I did not know that about you. She's a creator of mypenandsoul.com. She's published author of My Pen and Soul. She is the artistic artist and VP of McKinley Publishing Hub and one of the administrators of the Passion Poetry. And Eureka is a columnist for Poem of You, an article writer of the Kabayan Ward.
Kabayan newspaper.
Kabayan Ward, and then the columnist of the year in 2013. She's a polymer clay artist and owns a jewelry shop on EurekaRobeyJewelry.com, which Eureka and I have that similar love for jewelry making, and we are going to get together. No poetry weekend. We're just going to create jewelry.
Yeah, they'll just create jewelry.
And do polymer clay. So that
you all are actually in my art studio right now.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
She has some great work. She should, if you have one of your polymer things, you should like show it to her.
I can show you.
This is amazing work.
This is actually all of my jewelry. They're on the side. These are books published by our publishing company. And I'm just gonna tour you all. That's where I paint. And there's a table over there where I make my jewelries. So I can show you this. I'm not sure if you all can see that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's the polymer clay, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And the one that I wear right now is polymer clay.
Oh, nice.
And this one I made also from semi-precious stones.
Love it. I actually own one of your works.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Eureka, one day what we can do some workshop in which you can tell about these things.
Yeah,
Sure.
we can show people how to make things. We can show it. We can have a little craft workshop. So if you want to go ahead and share your lovely work with us.
This is my first time reading in front of everyone. So I've been telling Annette that I'm kind of nervous doing it. So, all right, here's my first poem. The title is Flowers of Understanding and Love. Imagine this earth to be covered with flowers with beautiful bloom, where understanding, not because of language, is sown. It will be full of love, splendors beyond imagination. Bounteous memories will be planted in hearts and souls. Though some grows in grounds with stony spaces, some stems will still reach wonderful capacious spaces. The scattered seeds of wisdom will still flourish. No matter the obstacle, love will never vanish. Let our fruits define this world with earth full of love. Let its fragrance reach the beauty of the heaven above. Let patience and understanding lead us in his kingdom. Let this world be covered with flowers for each tomorrow that comes. That's all.
Thank you. That was beautiful, and you did a great job, Eureka.
Thank
She
you.
also has one. She also is the mother of one of the cutest little things you ever did see.
Trinity.
So next, Jill, you want to take over, my dearest?
Janette want to ask something. Annette, Janette
Yes.
want to ask something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me. Janette, did you want to say something? Janette Conger?
Yeah, did you want me to read again?
We're almost around again. We got about 4 more people, and then the
Okay.
next round will go much quicker because we won't be doing any bios. So you'll be up
Okay.
very shortly.
All right.
Annette,
Okay,
I'll be
thank
happy to introduce Dennis. Okay. Dennis Brown is from Michigan.
No, you have Keisha.
Okay, let's find that. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Welcome, Keisha. Keisha Molby-Baez is known by her poet name, Coco. She is a writer, an author, a veteran, an entrepreneur, a curator, a wife, and a mother of 3. She is the author of 2 self-empowering poetry books, Tears Laced with Fire and A Little Bit of Sugar. And I'm very proud to say that mine arrived about a week ago, and I'm enjoying them a great deal. Keisha delivered the keynote proclamation for the 2019 Bronx Book Fair. And in 2021, she received the Community Spirit Service and Literary Excellence Recognition Award. Keisha's poems are anthologized in Inside the Panic Room, United, Volume Red, Volume Honey, Volume Emerald, BX Writers, Bleed, Roses, and The Revolution, of which she is a Pushcart Prize nominee. Keisha is the creator of Coco's Delight, and she has a list of merchandise that is comfortable and inspiring at the same time. And I actually have my gift that she sent me, and it's never far away because I'm constantly making notes on it. Keisha is currently working on her 3rd book, and that project is called A Collection of Connections and Collaborations. Today, she will be sharing 3 poems: End Ships, Medicine for Perfidus, and Her to Who Boo Who. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Jill. That was so lovely. It's so nice to be here with you all. The first poem that I'm going to read is Her To Who Boo Who. We're all healing. She's suffocating. People with smiles on their faces, judging her, pretending to care, trapped and pinned into fake relations, looking at her tormentors with teary eyes, unyielding heap of pain and anxiety on her plate, mindless chatter, vile hatred they serve her on a poisonous platter. She's suffocating, crawling pain, chest on fire, hit in veins, no oxygen, no speaking, stone cold, barely breathing. She's suffocating. Lack of respect, lack of trust, lack of love, lack of living, lack of happiness, lack of real communication, lack of genuine connection. She's suffocating. Not by pillow, not by blanket, not by hands, not by food, not by water, not by pills, not by liquor. She's suffocating. Things she can't control, solely killing her, numb from betrayal, heart barely beating, consuming emotional pain. No one can help her. She sees the gain through the pain, but herself. She's suffocating, drowning in agonizing memories, her heart in a cage. Solitude sedates her. Blank visions of her future. Her shadow is unique, telling stories of survival. Fading is her spirit. She's suffocating, drowning in silence in a contaminated ocean full of cold-hearted sharks. Depression sneaks into the guarded prison of her mind, enveloping it with negativity and darkness, tainting her soul and dimming her inner light. She's suffocating. Unbearable throbbing pain in her chest from inhumane attention seekers and hypocrites, reminding her she isn't good enough, yet jealous of her kindness, comparing her journey with theirs, secretly praying for her downfall, failing to realize she is prepared for their battle. She's suffocating. She's closing the door, pulling her blinds down, slowly creeping away, crawling under her ancestors' protection, her desperate attempt to shut them out, breaking away from their negative energy, mastering the strength to get out of their unsafe, safe cocoon they put her in. She's suffocating. Her suffocation wasn't hands around her neck. It was deceitful people, awakening her love to only rape her of it, exhausted from failing friendships, restriction of her mind, restrictions of her soul, their devilish actions and words harbored long enough on her mind. She's suffocating. She's suffocating. She pulls herself out of the lonely abyss, transparent to no one. Suffocating emotions no longer hurt her thoughts, no longer heavy on her heart. It stopped filling up her lungs. Their words and actions unable to clog her windpipe. Betrayal can't hold her under anymore. She's suffocating.
Wow, that was powerful.
Thank you.
Wonderful poem and great recitation. I don't think there's any one of us who didn't feel that. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you, Miss Annette.
You're welcome, darling. So good to see you. You know I'm your fan. I should have brought one of your glasses. I purchased some of her items. Should have had it here. I wasn't thinking ahead of time. Next up we have, you're welcome. Next up we have Dennis Brown. Sir Dennis Brown, if you want to unmute yourself. Dennis is one of my favorite people. He lives in the United States, residing in Michigan. He's acclaimed published author and poet. His debut, Reflections of Light book, just came out. A poetic shared journey of self-discovery. Can be found on Amazon. Can also be found in my house. So Dennis, if you would go ahead and delight us with some of your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. It's going to be hard to follow Keisha's recitation here, but I'll do my best. Amazing. It was amazing. This first one I'm going to do is called The Most Beautiful Thing. The most beautiful thing I have ever seen came to me one dreamer's night. It stirred my soul from deep within upon the appearance of its sight. It made no mention of who it was or why it graced my darkened state, but it filled my dreams with many colors in a kaleidoscope of unconscious fate. There was no color that wasn't seen as every shade came into view, and it shined among my dreamer's eyes in a way that was meant to see right through. I awoke to find what I had dreamt now lingered in my conscious mind, for the most beautiful thing I had ever seen were the colors I saw when my eyes were blind.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you very much. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
You always have such romantic work. I'll put you on the spot here while we're a bunch of people are witness that we need to finish what we started.
Yeah, I know it. It's just a quick. When I first ran into Annette, like Annette got me started, in all of this. So it's been a wild journey. But I reached out to Annette because I saw she was just a beautiful writer and poet, and so we kind of started talking and we started collaborating, and we've got a collaboration going between. It's actually a mother and a child. She's the mother, I'm the child, and we're still in the works. We're so busy, both of us, that we just kind of go back and forth with it. But eventually, I'd love to have that out with you, Annette, and we need to get people on us telling us get going on that.
Yeah, maybe that's if I recite today, maybe I'll read a couple of those instead of something else. So thank you, Dennis. I'm on Team Dennis. I like Dennis, but I'm in love with Gunnar Rose. So don't tell anybody. He's a bad boy. It's Dennis's alter ego. We'll have to show you some videos later. Now, next up, we have the lovely Jill. Introduce your next person, please.
Thank you, Dennis. I enjoyed it very much, as I always do. Welcome, Melissa. Melissa Chappell is a writer living in South Carolina. She enjoys woods, walking, nature gazing. Her poems can be found in Adelaide Literary Review, Blaze Vox, Amethyst Literary Review, and poetry videos by Sparrow Poems. She has been published in numerous anthologies, and I seem to have nothing else, Annette, to continue. Wait, let's try again. Try this. Unfortunately, I don't have any additional bio for Melissa. So please accept my apologies, Melissa, and feel free to read any of your poems.
Okay. I will begin with my poem. I brought two. I will begin with Mother I Climbed. I am a daughter of Goshen. I wander often into the brute night with some sickle-tongued man who can thrust the sun into my womb and taste my mouth like the sweetest clementine. Yet after the sweltering, bitter battle, I am abandoned behind a dollar beer parlor, putrid with the odor of sex and death. A robin's egg on an anvil, a hapless creature caught beneath the harrow. O mother, I climbed the surly mountain, and I have found there nothing or no one to whom I would give my life. Where was prophet, priest, and king? Where was Mother Mary? The sun was setting in my hollow stomach. The moon sailed aloft on my rising rage. There was nothing holy, and if there were, might I grind it in the dirt with my bloodied heel? O mother, I climbed to understand and understood nothing, and Goshen is so far.
Thank you, Melissa. That was beautiful. Your writing and even your recitation, I can just, you had that Southern twang, and I just loved it with that. But it's beautiful. Your words are beautiful, Melissa. Thank you for sharing with us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next up, we have Mr. Poetry, Timothy Payton. If you would like to unmute yourself, and I'll introduce you. Timothy is also one of my good friends. Timothy Wade Payton was born June 18th, 1976. He's a bicentennial baby. He is an American writer, artist, award-winning poet, book reviewer, literary critic, and tutor. He is widely recognized as a public figure within the culture of poetry as a whole, and has been the ambassador of humanity representing Ghana, West Africa, Universal Ambassador of Peace representing France. He began writing at the age of 15 and would write for his family and friends as a hobby. Timothy has helped and encouraged numerous writers, and with his selfless contribution to the world of literature, continues to thrive and enlighten the world around him. Timothy has also written a poetry book entitled Scattered Colors, which is available on Amazon. And so, Timothy, my friend, and he's also an artist. His walls are filled with it behind him, I think. Do you want to go ahead and recite yours?
Yes, thank you for that wonderful introduction there, Annette. I'd say, since I've been here listening to each and every one of you poets and poetresses, wonderful word art, inspired. And I just love to see that all these poets from all over the world are combined and coming together right now and sharing our word art. Outstanding. Yes, I would like to share my very first poem, which is entitled Inner Perspectives. And if you can see and take in these words, you may see yourself in these words that I am sharing with you all. So please enjoy. Inner Perspectives. Stepping stones, afterglow, leaving imprints. Mental hints, heaven sent, smell the incense. Mental feels, thoughts appear, ideas are in sight. Suns to light, moons to night, clouds and stars in flight. Pens leave vapors, words on the papers, tattooing into the lines. Stories are created, ecstatic and elated, standing the test of time. Listening to the call, echoes are becoming sounds from a birth. Points and destinations, words and relations of a meaning and such worth. A feeling from within, pleasant or of sin, runs through the veins. Change with reactions, choices are in captions, decisions will be made. To live out a dream, to see what it brings, happiness or demise. To see a true soul, fully and whole, look into their eyes. Inner Perspectives.
Actually, we're doing round 2 now. We don't have all of the bios. And so we're starting with our honorary guest, Janette Conger. If you would unmute yourself and grace us with your wonderful works, please.
Are you ready for me to read then? Okay, there's my second poem. And this poem I wrote because I was thinking about our earth and how we need to take care of her, and how taking care of her also takes care of us. And so on Earth Day, I wrote a poem for Mother Earth, and I sent her a prayer. So the title of this poem is Prayers for Mother Earth. O Mother Earth, whom I walk and live upon, whose life sustains me, in prayer I come to you. My heart aches when I see the destruction and pain that is making you suffer so much. O Mother Earth, I pray for you every day, that you will be healed and stay well for the many generations to come, and that humanity will find peace in you, with love for you, the way a mother should be loved. O Mother Earth, I ask that you forgive humanity for the hurt they cause you daily, without thinking of your pain and thinking their actions have no consequences until you can give no more. O Mother Earth, whose heartbeat is within me, let humanity hear my prayers for you and know that time is of the essence. As I lift my voice to the skies, asking for the help that is needed to save you, our Mother Earth. O Mother Earth, humbly I stand upon you, feeling you surround me, as prayers are lifted up with smoke in hopes that humanity will one day come together in peace and love, giving to Mother Earth a chance. O Mother Earth, with gratitude I pray for you, thankful for all you give to sustain and strengthen as you struggle for a balance that humanity can survive with, and so let us not regret. O Mother Earth, our prayers are with you, that your strength to survive will come forth into the light, and as those that take uncaring are shown your nature to forgive, prayers you are healed. Amen. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad that you've shared with us. You're wonderful. And so glad that you're here with us.
It's really
today.
nice to be here and be able to share. I thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we're just all elated to have you. Jill?
Annette, would you like me to read something, or would you like me to introduce someone?
Introduce someone. We will read each one in the end.
Okay. I will invite Tammy to share another poem with us. Please, Tammy Hendrix.
Thank you so much. This one is titled Take Me. Take this confusion by the mind, a self-inflicted lack, nurtured knowledge compromised for enduring physical necessity. Slowed enough to understand, ignorance rules my life, in need of patient teaching to break through false learning and quench a thirst to know. Take this hollow by the heart, peace and joy inspired beats for me, for you, turning cold like stone, a will dying, halting thumping efforts, bleeding tears of shame for apathy clotted caring and a life meant for giving. Take this yearning by the womb, deluge anointing like summer rain, warm and cleansing, fiercely fueled passion, kept alive by imagination, held sacred sense, sweetness dreamed of tingling kisses, grown to heaving breaths, exploring flesh and fantasy. Take this conflict by the hand, hold tight as faith spirals into fear, past influenced disbelief, determined, like my need for certainty, yet far stronger than I. Guide me through doors kept cautiously closed, peeked in by curiosities, slammed shut by pain. And that's the end.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, marvelous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Next, Mr. Dustin Pickering, if you want to unmute yourself, please, sir, and share.
Thank you, Annette, and thank you, Jill, as well. This is called Agape. I grow tired near the water's edge where my father's son was born. His thinking stuns me. The world should turn against the bleak light. We struggle against the agony of conviction. There is contradiction near the sea. What suffers with me? The wind? Who carries the dove into the rain? Grant me peace. Keep birth silent. Let go of difficulty. The shining black womb becomes as scarlet as a sea of suffering. Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. Thank you very much.
Keisha, would you like to go next?
Okay. I'll actually let you guys, you can hear me because my mic was problematic. I'll actually let you guys choose whether you want to hear medicine for peripheral or N-ships. So either Annette or Jill, you can choose whichever one or gather together. Whichever one the first one was medicine for peripheral or N-ships?
The last one.
N-ships?
Yeah.
Okay. N-ships. You left me on red. A lot of time to reflect. Read thoroughly and let this be a lesson for the rest of your life. I'm not clay for you to mold. I'm not a piece of meat to season how you like. I'm not a canvas to paint what you desire. I'm not a switch you can turn on and off as you please. I'm not a mind reader. Don't expect me to know. I'm not into assuming. Don't expect me to guess. I know what I want, unlike you who is indecisive. I'm not a test. You don't need to study me and expect a pass or fail. I'm not toilet paper to clean up your shit. I'm not here for short term. I'm one for the long haul. I'm not here to be judged and broken down. I'm here to learn, grow, and build. I'm not a surgeon to fix all your broken parts and remove all the contamination. I'm not a lawyer defending a client. I'm not a doctor to cure your disease and illnesses. I'm not a vaccine or antibiotic to heal your infections. I'm not a mechanic to give you tune-ups and wheel alignments. I'm not your therapist to diagnose and treat your past issues. I'm not your banker to advise you on how to live and invest your money and time. All I wanted to be was your friend, lover, and #1 supporter. Unfortunately, this you made impossible with all your traumatizing encounters. All I have to say is it's time to say goodbye.
Wow, 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 wow. So he kept saying, I'm not your. But I want you to be my friend. So there you go. So that was marvelous. So
thank you.
We got a little out of order. And the next person I'm going to call upon is Donna McCormack.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Keisha. That was very beautiful. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
Having me read. I'm going to read something called Orange. And I'm used to writing love poems, but so this is a little outside my normal purview. But I hope you enjoy it. Orange. On the surface, we had oranges. I've never eaten one, but my mother says they grew on these tree things in groves. Her great-great-aunt ran a grove stand in Kissimmee before that whole paradisical peninsula sank. We followed. My mother says orange juice was orange, real orange, not the orange we call stuff now, not gluten cakes that erode tooth surfaces, crack jaws, fiber mulch that dissolves the intestinal lining, turns into dust on the tongue. Our water is orange. They say it didn't used to be. If I get some water tonight, I will close my eyes and gulp it down and wish it was orange, orange, orange juice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Donna. Thank you for sharing your work.
Demetria, would you like to go next?
Sure, I'll go next.
Great, thank you.
All right. This next poem is going to be called Moonlit Night. So here we go. Rising stars flowing over our heads until it passes you lying in your bed. Count like Dracula, deep in the dark. Make it smooth and heavy. straight from your heart. Move with the tone. Let your hips sway. Bring your thighs together and pretend like it's May. Stand firm. Let your heart ache. Tumble down. Keep the smile, even though all you want to do is frown. 10 more steps, then release a scream. You deserve to be a little bit mean. Take over the line. Make their minds ache. Then turn around and forgive their hate. Oh boy, why must I comply to such disgrace? Is it my bloodline getting in the way? Man, I bind the strong man and his curse. Take your ropes and remove the hearse. Then a blind reality of unsound truth until the darkness captures a long night's oops. That's the piece.
Thank you so much, Demetria. That was great. As usual, girl. That was wonderful. So, still a little out of order. We're going to go back to Regina McIntosh. If you would like to recite for us, darling.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'll recite Soulmate. You can hear my dog in the background. But anyway, Soulmates. You are the rich color in my cheeks, the brilliance in my ecstatic smile, the elation in my expression of joy, the sincerity in my sweetest hope. You are the glory that sighs when I sing, a song of love that lives deep within, where you have colored my world in hues of inspirational truths. You are the balance of black and white, the realization that God is so alive, the gentle grasp of pleasure that ignites the purest peace filling my insides. You are the rousing splendor that excites, beckoning me with so much insight, welcoming my heart to know your truth and dance with a jubilant fire that burns for you. You are the whisper of encouraging prose, the anchor that holds me through every storm, the imagination that keeps me inspired with verse, the creativity that winds its way through my spirit. You are the gentle touch that embraces my faith, a sensitivity that brings me friendship and elation, reflections of promise to bring serenity and peace, echoes of hope that soothes my weary anxiety. You are the one who makes my world complete. With you, I know God answers prayers for those who simply believe. He brings two together, completing their search for the miracle that is a union of souls, two hearts becoming one. That's it.
Zan, would you like to go next?
Sure, thank you. I was going to read this one last, but just in case we run out of time, I want to share the poem entitled My Tree. I was encouraged by Demetria's poem and by Janette's prayer for Mother Earth. My Tree. I wrote this after receiving a gift. To the tree, a gift, planted in my name. May your roots bind deeply in fertile earth. May you cling to the river to quench your thirst. May you be firmly anchored and nourished. May you thrive as you are pruned by nature. May you avert the ravages of climate change. May you avoid perilous winds and drought. May raging fires keep their distance. May lightning never seek or find you. May hostile insects not pursue you. May you absorb the sun's nourishing rays. May you flourish in the refreshing rain. May the seasons be gentle and kind to you. May you shelter God's creatures, big and small. May birds dwell and sing on your limbs. May you provide shade from the sun's hot rays. May your colors delight in every season. If you are an evergreen, may you be forever green. My gift, my tree, may you know my prayer. Live long and mighty until God says it's time. Thank you.
Beautiful, Zan. Beautiful. As always, yours are so heartfelt.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And next we have Eureka. The lovely Eureka, please unmute yourself, darling.
This is really a wonderful experience. Thank you all so much. Okay, the title of my poem is The Soaring Bird and I. There you go. Don't you sometimes wonder how is it to be like a bird? You gaze down to everything your eyes could reach. You can go wherever you want to, any moment of the day, not feel obliged, nor hear words of beseech. Don't you sometimes wish to live like a bird? You have the freedom to breathe while flying high. With things you are not frightened, not even worried. You have the full strength to soar the beautiful sky. Don't you sometimes ask yourself, have I ever lived like a bird who enjoys every moment of life, not counting hurt, who sings freely without a feeling of doubt, who believes in free spirit, which life is all about?
Beautiful. And I do not believe you that you've never recited in front of anybody before.
Thank you.
Dennis, would you like to go next?
Sure. Thank you, Jill. I hope you guys don't mind. I actually, I just been listening to everyone, and I'm going to veer off from a couple of them that I was going to do. It just because just listen to everybody. I mean, it's our calling. I just feel, I mean, we're just here and to express ourselves and to just look. It's not only sharing with one another. It's just, learning a lot about ourselves as we progress. And I wrote a poem a little while back. It was called My Greatest Award, and I'd like to share it with you. Certificates, accolades, and recognition help fuel the fire of my ambition. But the reason I continue to ink my soul lies deep within what I long to know. The search for what I strive to be, for all the beauty that resides in me. The truth that hides where my heart does lay will set me free to ink my way. The feelings that I need to share as I fight for my poetic ear. The moments that bring me to my knees. In acts of mercy, my words set me free. The greatest joy that I can give my heart is a gift of all that I can impart. To share my words in all its worth through knowledge that my pen does birth. As I continue on through joy and strife and ink the way with my strokes of life, the greatest award that I can achieve is finding myself inside of me and giving you what I can find through my inks of life that I leave behind. Thanks.
Thank you,
That was wonderful, Dennis.
Thank you.
So next up, that was great. Loved it. Glad you changed channels. So next we have Melissa. If you want to share another one of your pieces, please. Unmute yourself, Melissa. Unmute yourself and start over, please.
Okay, just a few seconds since my bio got cut short, just to say a few words about myself. I was a music theory major, and my poem has a lot of, I draw a lot from my music theory background as a metaphor for my poem. And I published 5 books, and the last one is For the Next Earth, and it's also on Amazon. So if you want to trek on over there and have a look at that, that'll be perfectly fine by me. And anyway, one of my dreams that I put in my bio is to one day pack up my bags and head to Spain in the spring. It's one of my dreams. So now I'm going to read my poem. and have to take off the glasses to do that. And it is called Other Music. I hear it in the gravelled cadences of his voice, the rests which are no rests, but the pulsations of my blood, caught up in a recapitulation of our summer rhapsody, long ago, his words circling around, strange pattern, strange melody, still sung in my far country, arias, recitatives, resplendent cadenzas. What is this other music that begins in him and ends in me? I try to name it, to draw boundaries around it, to give it definition. What is it then but the secret sound of spring come early that quietly breaks open the dogwood bud, that cracks apart in me that other music, floating on a jessamine wind, and he knows it not.
Beautiful, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your poetry makes sense to me now, given your background. So wonderful work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jill, you're muted.
Thank you, Annette. Janice, would you like to share a final poem?
Timothy,
Yeah, I already had two, yeah.
Timothy is up to next. Timothy, if you'd like to share your final poem, please. Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry there, Annette. Did you say I'm next?
Yes.
Yes. Please.
Okay. All right. Well, I must say, I'm with you there, Dennis. You know, just listen to everyone here. It's just wow. Inspiring, motivating, beautiful word art. Just from each and every one of you. You know, this right here, it's just timing. And you know, this is what I have to share. This is the one great poem I like to share. And it is entitled The Power of Poetry. Because there's true power in the words that we deliver to each and every one that reads and we touch. And, you know, this is something I want to go ahead and share with each and every one of you right now. So, the power of poetry. To express something from within that resonates and touches so deep. Created thoughts of multiple feelings that are felt throughout and speaks to the heart and soul of what one is going through or has already been. Brought on by a spark, conversation, love, or suggestion from a friend. It could be compassionate with happiness, making you feel alive. It could be from a broken place, full despair, misery, feeling you died. It could be inspiring with motivation, being a voice for the voiceless. It could touch someone so significant, making an impact and leaving them breathless. Written from a pen, pencil, or brush, onto paper or a canvas, creating word art. Taking the scattered colors of life and emotions so it becomes a part of an individual's experience and expressions being felt so tangible. Making a difference from a place that is universal and expandable. Coming from a place of creativity, expressed from the depths of the mind. echoed from a personal perspective that could last the tests of time. You may never know the impact of self-expression flowing free, giving hope and enlightenment from the power of poetry. Power of poetry.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. So I would like to call upon Jill Sharon Kimmelman to share one of your poems, please.
I have a poem that I wrote many years ago, and yet whenever I'm involved in any type of featured reader or open mic, there's always a request for this poem. So it's about a marriage of 60 years, and it is based on a true story. And there is a beautiful wedding portrait in my book, You Are the Poem, from 1939, the original wedding portrait of my own grandparents. The story is not theirs. The story of the poem is real. And I met the couple when I was 10 years old. And I am thrilled to say that the wife in the poem this is very much a story poem, and the wife in the poem is now 88 years old and my mom's best friend for more than 50 years. And they loved, the husband has passed away, but he had many years of enjoying this piece. It's called Dancing in the Kitchen. 60 years together still. They dance in the kitchen like movie stars from 1939. With her eyes closed, she imagines herself to be this man's siren. All heady scents, fiery hair, throaty whispers. She could be a star of the silver screen. Alabaster wrists, swan neck, flashing emeralds and rubies, the whisper of her caresses delivered by hands in long satin gloves. With his eyes shut, he could be the UPS man, 25 years old in summer shorts, flashing a devil of a smile. His lips deliver a commanding brush of sea deep kisses that rock her from her toes to her cerebellum and back again. There is music, a solo saxophone drifting in through the open windows, soul stirring on a cool and scented breeze. Icy cocktails are produced. As smooth as slipping skin, he removes her gloves, allowing her fingers to graze the rim of her frosted glass. Pluck a briny, glistening olive and place it between his teeth. It's a shabby room, scuffed up floors, a patched screen door, countertops in avocado green. He washes, she dries. That's the way it's always been. Sweet tea, ice cold beer to toast another perfect sunset, as if he had arranged it all just for her pleasure. His face crinkles with that funny, lopsided smile she knows so well. He fiddles with an old black radio, slow, sweet jazz, fills the kitchen, spilling into every corner. Crossing the room, he takes her hand. 60 years of Saturday nights, still dancing in the kitchen. Thank you.
And that is the Jill Sharon Kimmelman signature poem. Thank you, Jill, so much.
My pleasure.
So it's amazing listening to all of you. Everyone has their unique style, and everyone has their way of writing and expressing. And all are wonderful and unique. Thank God we're all different, right? It'd be kind of boring if we were all the same.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a poem, and then I'm going to call on Dr. Shamanez to read something, if you would, in the end, and conclude the event. So this is a poem I wrote that got me back into poetry 4 or 5 years ago. This is my I'm Getting Divorced Ticked Off poem. I was going through a divorce and wrote this poem. And this is what people kept encouraging me to get this published, because I recited it hundreds of times. This was my therapy. The reason why I decided at last minute to read this poem is that it occurred to me what today was. Today is the birthday of a friend of mine who was my childhood friend and best friend, who passed last year. And she was a rather tortured soul, had a lot of psychological problems and a lot of health problems. But I think that this speaks to her thing too. So the poem goes through the good, the bad, but she never reached that strong. She went through a divorce and could never get there and rise above it. So she basically, after she went through hers, went through just giving up on life. But, so this is in memory of Denise. And I used to know this by heart, 3 minutes. I'll try to do it. I might have to glance down. A love that flourished, so fresh and new. A man who promised to be loyal and true. My heart I gave you to hold and to keep in arms that once held me when I went to sleep. Lips they merged, holding steadfast at night. The morning then dawned and the Sunday grew bright. You promised me you would love me for a lifetime, you said, or vows now spoken with a life together ahead. The love in the marriage was so wonderful and bliss, but soon I realized something was amiss. You grew so cold, in your touch I no longer felt. A love once true soon began to melt. A flame that burned so hot and true is now growing dimmer, no longer grew. My heart you held once near your own. The house where we live is no longer a home. Soon I watched as you grew distant and cold, and wondered, will we be together as we grow old? Promises once spoken, love whispered in my ear. Come a bit closer and let me make this clear. You are no longer a man I yearn for. You are not a man I love and adore. True love and respect were never part of the game, and once I realized this, things were never the same. A man of honor, integrity, and truth you claimed to be, but soon I realized, I'm sorry, no, I did lose my place. A man of honor, integrity, and truth you claimed to be, but soon your true color showed through, and I began to see none of these things ever were you. It was a picture you painted and a fairy tale you drew. The love in the marriage could no longer be saved. Love and time, these things you no longer gave. The love was a sham, and I could no longer see the man who once loved me was to no longer be. My beauty, you indicated, was a passing thing after promising me forever and always with the ring. That is pretty, you said. That is me. How superficial and shallow can you really be? It's the exterior you look at, not the person within, and then say goodbye to us as you widen your grin. Through the years, you methodically tried to lessen my worth. But I am so very strong, and I'm giving birth to the me that I lost who once walked this earth. And new me it will be that I soon will unleash, a woman whose inadequate self-esteem will now cease. Never again will I allow another man who dictates, another man who withdraws affection or alienates. I will no longer mourn that man I thought you to be, for you're never that man, this now I see. The strong woman I am, with beauty and grace, a woman who loves and looks beyond the face. Never again will I allow another man to define the wonderful person I am, who's faithful, true, and kind. Broken dreams that once existed. I'm sorry. Now I did forget it. The wonderful person I am. Ideals that once existed. They turned to broken dreams. A life appeared shattered, but is not what it seems. I go forth with confidence in the midst of new dreams, dreams full of happiness, life that starts anew, embracing each day and following it through, to live my life as I wish from now on, the key factor being that you are now gone. So, broken dreams. I need to practice that a few more times. I still think I can do it by heart, but I haven't been using it for my therapy. So, thank you for listening. So, and thank you to my ex-husband for getting me back into poetry. Woo! And now I would like to, Dr. Shamanez, are you still there, or have you fallen asleep on us?
I am there, but due to technical error, my video is off.
Okay. Would you like me to conclude, or would you like to conclude?
I just want to say a very big thank you to all the poets. America is a land where many great poets like Walt Whitman, one of my favorites, Sylvia Plath, have composed beautiful poem, and you all people are following their footstep and making your mark in this poetic world. Maybe after 100 years, somebody will read you all, like nowadays we are reading Walt Whitman, Sylvia Plath, and many Robert Frost and many other poets. My best wishes to all of you, and in the end I would like to say a very big thank to PLCS American Forum, especially Annette, Tarpley, Jill, for organizing this wonderful event, and inviting some new faces. Like for the first time I'm hearing poem of Eureka, and even I'm meeting Melissa and many other Regina and many other poets for the first time. So you both have done a commendable effort, and in the end I would like you people to speak few words, both Jill and Annette. You people should conclude, because the whole event you people have carried out in such a successful way.
Jill, you go ahead and speak first, darling.
Dr. Shamanez, thank you. It is always pure joy to be involved in any collaboration with you. I look forward to bringing some new candidates for Progressive Literary Cultural Society, and I actually have a stack like this that I'm going to share with you next week. I'm so glad that you were here with us today, and that you did, as you mentioned, get to meet some of the newer voices. And I just want everyone to know how very much Annette and I appreciate you all coming together. And I feel a lot of love in this space. To borrow a phrase, it's a safe, brave place, and we are all nurturing and caring, truly, absolutely caring, not only about the words from the poetry, but about one another. And that is truly unique to being a part of the global poetry community. I think we would be very hard pressed to ever find another profession with more eagerness to mentor, with greater interest in promoting one another, and with an almost amazing lack of competitiveness. So, as Annette told me years ago, when she had less than 370 people in her passion of poetry, she hoped to be able to reach that point someday. And she's exceeded all of that. So it's a great joy for me to have been here this morning, co-hosting with Annette. And I just can't thank you all for making time to be with us today. And I thank you all.
Just one thing, Annette, before you speak, just one thing, a very big thank you to you for introducing the Native American voice, Janette Conger. I've been working on new literature, so I have read Sherman Alexie, a Native American poet, and it is very good that you have brought a Native American poet. This also reflects that now we don't believe in any kind of race, because now everybody around the world, irrespective of race, ethnicity, geographical boundaries, we are one. This is what the message of Progressive Literary and Cultural Society, that entire universe is our family. So a very big thank you to introducing us with Janette Conger. And Janette, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And we will be taking your interview this Wednesday. I hope Annette is also there with me. We both will take your interview on 27th of this Wednesday.
Right. Yes.
Yes. So thank you, Dr. Shamanez. And Janette Conger, again, thank you for sharing with us your wonderful work. I have great love for all people and cultures, and certainly the Native American culture is very near and dear to me. So used to actually live in an area that has some Native American. So thank you, Janette, for joining us. Thank you, Melissa, for joining us. Eureka, I'm going across my screen looking at y'all. Jill Kimmelman, love you, girl. And I might be there soon, you never know. Timothy Payton, thank you. Dustin Pickering, thank you for gracing us with your presence. Robert, thank you so much. The beautiful Zan, thank you. Dennis, aka Gunner, thank you. Demetria, thank you. Keisha, Donna, Regina, and Tammy, thank you all for joining us and for making it a wonderful event. So usually, and Dr. Shamanez, thank you for allowing us to have this.
Thank you.
So this is usually how I say goodbyes. So this is my good. So goodbye to all you folks. Have a wonderful weekend and Saturday, and let us stay united in love, peace, harmony, and know that we live in an environment where we support each other and encourage each other. So thank you so much. And
thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. I thank everybody.
Bye.
And good evening from India.
Bye, everyone.
Annette, let us talk. Janette has left. What will be the?
Yeah, let me hold on a second. I gotta need to stop the recording.
Okay.
It's not stopping. Did this get recorded?
Yeah, it is still recording.
Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go.
Okay.